Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. Happy spoken word Tuesday. I hope you guys Tuesdays come along fine. You guys know on Tuesday I like to bring the word. All right. So earlier I talked about, the short on how the Father word being stronger than the two-edged sword, okay? And it is, okay? And before I start this chapter of Hosea 11, I just want to read this short again so you guys can be aware how powerful the Father's word is, right? Stronger than any two-edged sword, can pierce the powerful, can pierce anyone as long as it's used, right? Now, somehow I got my covering all. Okay, there we go. All right, so again, that sure was in Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12, KJV version. For the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit and of the joints and marrow, and is discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. So yes, it's just to let you guys know, use that word. Practice that word, study that word, learn that word, and you can fulfill that word, on anyone, right? If you use that word right, in spirit and truth, trust and believe me, you can rebuke anyone, even the most powerful. Trust and believe me, they will be disciplined too, because that word you use is speaking to their spirit, right? That's why, when Isaiah came and, was that Elijah? Yeah, that's why when Elijah came, remember? And he came and kind of like, well, he used the Father, and basically trying to, compete against Baal and their prophets, right? And, Elijah was powerful. He was powerful with the word. He had great faith. So therefore, he was able to rebuke Jezebel and, Jezebel's husband, Ahaz. He was able to rebuke all them. And even the prophets, I think 250 of Baal prophets and everything, using the power of the Father and using the using the Father's word, being how powerful they was. You see? So the word is very powerful. It can rebuke, it can be pierced and sharpened a two-edged sword, depending on if you using the word in spirit and truth. Because trust and believe me, if you use the word in spirit and truth, the Father equips you to go out there and stand against people. I'm talking about the masses. He pick and choose people, who is faithful in his word. He builds them and everything. So he can use that person to go out there to lead, rebuke, and discipline. And trust and believe me, you don't even have to know that person, but them beyond, like far, yonder, will experience that person, experience the person coming through, experiencing their strength, experiencing their presentation, just how that person coming to them. It speaks, that person be powerful. So no matter who that person going to rebuke and discipline, they embrace them, because that spirit was inside that vile person know they're wrong, right? And they know that the Father using the spirit of his instrument to rebuke or discipline that vile person, right? So you guys just remember that the word in this Bible is very powerful, sharper than any two-edged sword, and can break the most powerful. Anybody. As long as you use this word in faith and truth, it will pierce anybody's soul. It will discipline anybody's soul. They will embrace you. They will listen, and they know to leave you alone. Okay? All right, you guys. So with that being said, I'm going to read Hosea chapter 11. And it just basically talk about, when Israel was a kid, then how the Father loved them, right? But then when Israel grew older, they stopped following other people, right? How Israel, decided to probably come back, but some of the tribes, like Ephraim, decided to turn away, okay? But remember, when Israel was a child, that's when the Father loved them, right? And basically, when you say, I love Israel as a child, he's talking about Abraham, because remember, he called Abraham, out of his home, his native land, and brought him to the land of Canaan. And Abraham was a child then, when he was running around dealing with his father Terah and Nahor, which Nahor died, which was Terah's brother, who was Lot's father, who was Abraham's nephew. Lot is Abraham's nephew. You know, so during the time when Abraham was a child, you know, he was a child of Terah. You know, Terah had a brother named Nahor. Nahor had a son named Lot. You know, Nahor died. You know, but Terah, his father, they was practicing other gods. You know, our ancestors, when they say our ancestors up there practicing to other gods. So Abraham's father was practicing to other gods, and you know, and holding all these idols, consecrated, and all this kind of stuff. You know, so the Israel, Abraham was little, the father called him out their land. Okay, Israel, Abraham was good. He followed the father, but the generations started to not follow. Okay, so chapter 11, Hagar says, Israel, as a child called out of Egypt in similitude of our Lord, as a child returning therefrom, but Ephraim turns away from the Lord. Verse 1, when Israel was a child, then I loved him and called my son out of Egypt. As they called them, so they went from them. They sacrificed them to Balaam and burned incense to graven images. I taught Ephraim to go, taking them by their arms, but they knew not that I healed them. I drew them with cords of a man, with bands of love, and I was to them as they take off the yoke on their jaws, and I laid meat unto them. He shall not return into the land of Egypt, but the Assyrian shall be his king, because they refuse to return. And the sword shall abide on his cities, and shall consume his branches, and devour them because of their own counsels. And my people are bent to backsliding from me. Though they called them to the Most High, none at all would exalt him. How should I give thee up, Ephraim? How should I deliver thee, Israel? How should I make thee as Admah? How should I set thee as Zebulun? Mine heart is turned within me. My repentance are kindled together. I will not execute the fierceness of my anger. I will not return to destroy Ephraim, for I am God and not man, the Holy One in the midst of thee, and I will not enter into the city. They shall walk after the Lord. He shall roar like a lion. When he shall roar, then the children shall tremble from the west. They shall tremble as a bird out of Egypt, and as a dove out of the land of Assyria. And I will place them in their houses, said the Lord. Ephraim compasseth me about with lies, and the house of Israel with deceit. But Judah yet ruleth with God, and is faithful with the saints. So you guys see, he's telling you guys, you know, as a child, you know, when he chose Israel, you know, made Israel to himself, he loved us then, you know, because we was abiding, we was following his laws and everything. He wasn't forsaking his laws. It wasn't apostasy among Israel, right? But it was Abraham as a child, you know, the father called him out of the land, you know, of his fathers and everything, brought him to Canaan and everything. And Abraham started serving the father. Then, you know, Abraham had Jacob, and Esau eat Jacob, becoming Israel. Okay? So, Abraham first, then Jacob become Israel. But remember, when he was a child, he loved him. It was Abraham first. Okay? I would have to say, even with Jacob though, when the 12 tribes, he also loved them too. Those was the good old days when they was following the laws and the commandments. But then they started following other gods and everything that led them to be oppressed, you know, led them to be cursed with everything that's going on, and have to go to the oppressed for everything to get any and everything, right? Right now today, well, even so, it's being turned around. So we take our places back. But I think people are starting to understand that in fact we were oppressed. In fact, we are Judah, and the fact that it's right now we are in restoration, and everything is turning back around because everything is upside down. And because Judah is being restored, the world, everything will be back in order. Everything is out of order because of Judah and Israel is out of order. It's all because of how we being treated and everything, how all the nations are confederate against us because they hate us. No matter, every nation hate Judah, period. It's their job to hate Judah because, you know, they was given the authority to come oppress us. So you can't even blame them, right? So as long as we here on earth, as long as Judah on earth, we're going to be hated until Shiloh comes, until restoration takes place fully. And then you're going to see that we will be the Messianic nation. Everybody's going to follow our lead. Okay? The world will be back in order. All right. Let me say, I taught Ephraim also to go, taking by his you know, Ephraim was part of Israel, right? Ephraim was part of the ones that the Father will, put judgment on. He's going to put judgment on many nations, but Ephraim, he really kind of had rap on Ephraim because of what Ephraim, how they shed so much innocent blood and how they treated like Judah and everything. Ephraim, okay? I think Ephraim was able to Gilead and everything, but Ephraim did. Ephraim treated Judah so bad, making them forsake the laws, all kind of stuff. That's what Ephraim did. Ephraim did not want to follow the Father's laws and commandments. Ephraim turned his back on him. And that's why the Father is so wrath with Ephraim and everything. Who is one of the tribes of Israel, okay? One of the kids of Jacob's 12 children. Father said, I drew them with cords of a man with bands of love, and I was as to them as they take the yokes off their jaws. So he's trying to tell you, he was close to us. In the beginning, he was close to us, like white on rice. We followed their laws and commandments, and the way we followed their laws and commandments allowed us, to walk through, and defeat everybody and be prosperous during that time, okay? That's because, we was close to him, and the Father, drew us with cords of bands of love, okay? Also, he's saying that he should not return to the land of Egypt, but the Assyrians shall be king because they refuse to return. Okay, so even though coming out of Egypt, yes, we know we came out of Egypt, and the Father had Israel to walk 40 years and everything, day and night, because they didn't want to obey, and also because they didn't want to go defeat the giants of the land. Only Judah and Caleb, the son of Nun, and Joseph of Judah was the two Israels, or the two children of Jacob, two of Israel, Judah and Caleb from the 12 tribes, who actually defeated, the giants, went and, followed what the Father said. 'Cause he sent all 12 disciples, one from each tribe, to go out there and scout out Canaan, to go out there to take down the giants, go defeat them and take the cities. Remember, he said he sent them to cities flowing with milk and honey. So during that time, when they was walking there 40 days and 40 nights, the Father was trying to get them to the promised land, but 10 of the tribes were scared, came back and gave a report and scared everybody else. But 2 of them, Judah and Caleb, I think Caleb was from the tribe of Benjamin? They actually followed the Father's words, went to go defeat it, right? And that's why Judah right now is known to be the lawgiver and executed, and Caleb, both of them are known to control lands, and because of what they did, so they have much favor, those 2. Okay, so now, even though Judah and Caleb, went and defeated the 12 tribes, Moses was with them too. Moses did not make it because he was trying to take up for the 12 tribes, but the way he was doing his attitude, the Father didn't like. So Moses died before he made it to the promised land. Okay, so long story short, they came from Egypt trying to get to the promised land, right? But during that time, they then backslid years and years and years, and now they was made captive and taken to Assyria, okay? So that's why he say, he shall not return into the land of Egypt, but the Assyrians shall be his king, because they refuse to return. They refuse to return to the Father's laws, so now they made captive. So from Egypt, and to the desert, wandering those 40 years, their generations down the line, when they became older, was made captive and taken to Assyria. All right. And he said the sword should to build their cities and consume the branches and the boundaries for their own counsel. So many people are dying and everything, and the swords is consuming them within them cities, because how people are leading to their own understanding, you see, because of their own counsels, how they write all these laws, which is not good for nobody, not even for them. So the laws is very contradictory and it's evil. So the laws is actually causing them to be destructive and fall as well, due to their own counsel's laws. If they follow the order of the Father's laws and commandments, then they wouldn't fall. But because they don't want to follow the Father's laws and commandments, them as high in power want to write their own counsel and lead to their own understanding out of order, then they have no choice but to fall based off their own doings. All right, and it said, and my people are bent to backsliding from me. Though they call them to the Most High, none at all would exalt them. Yeah, so we do know that, what I think we know that the Father, what the Father words is represent. I do think we know right from wrong, what's evil and what's good. Of course we know. We know we in the right way, we doing something right, and right things come to our life. And we also know when we stop doing those things, how bad things start coming to our life, right? So we know the difference of backsliding and not backsliding. Okay. So now he said, and my people are bent backsliding from me, right? Though they call him the Father, when they say, oh, you hear him come out their lips, all the words coming out their lips and their mouth, what about their heart? Within their heart is not there. So that's why he says, so many of us know, we know what's going on. We know what's right. We know what's wrong. We know how to seek the kingdom. When we go and we pursue that and we get so far, sometimes we get tempted and get turned around and backslide, right? So we know the difference of backslide and not backslide, right? And so many of us are backsliders right now. And that's why the Father said, and my people are bent to backsliding from me. Though they call them to the Most High, none at all would exalt him. So those who already knew right from wrong, now they're backslide, and they backslide so far and to the point where they want to exalt him no more, because they care more about the world than the world, more about the world, the word than the world. They care more about the world than the word. Okay, it's high time here. All right, so the Father also said, I'm going to verse 10 now. They shall walk after the Lord. He shall roar like a lion. When he shall roar, then the children shall tremble from the west. Right? So now, this right here, it's talking about when the people of the east come and do what they got to do, when they start when they start putting things in order, right? Because remember, Ephraim is turning back, but right now you're talking about Israel coming together, okay? So Israel is coming together right now, and you see the whirlwind is taking place, and we also see how the West is trembling, right? How many sanctions and everything is coming towards, right? Because Africa is that stand right now. Africa is that east, is that stand who is trembling the West, okay? So it's just part of the latter days and everything. Remember, everything in this Bible, we should not return void, but be fulfilled, because they are all prophecies, right? And again, they shall walk after the Lord. He shall roar like a lion. When he shall roar, the children shall tremble from the west. Us. We are the children from the west. We trembling because we over there watching Africa do their thing. We watching the African over there in the motherland starting to get back in order and build everything and reaching out to us. We over here in America, from a transatlantic trade, then got through over here from both names change and everything, don't know our heritage, lost, don't know who we are, where we from. And that's another reason why those people over there in Africa had some type of disliking against us, because we didn't know who we are. And of course, we can't even blame ourselves, because how can we be made liable for something we don't know? We didn't ask to be here, but we was stole here. We was forced here. You see what I'm saying? We were stole from a whole country, put on a boat and plane, and forced over here, right? So now, Africa is now coming together. The whole country has to come together. Once they come together as one, it will be spoken. It will be heard. And the West is already trembling, but it is going to shake, okay? And everybody know that people already see what's going on. We need that. Remember, Africa is the motherland. They are the strongest. They hold everything, okay? They are the flavor of the earth. They build the earth. We need Africa for everything. And finally, the Father has overturned our 400 years of curse, giving us back his power. And he's starting with Africa right now to bring them all together first, go against anything that's contrary to the Father, because it's about order. Once Africa get everything in order and get all the countries on one page and become who they supposed to be for the Father, then us over here in America will also start to follow, okay? So now, right now, because what Africa doing, the West is trembling. The West is causing sanctions, right? They're going against Africa for things that they're not going against the other country for, even though the other country doing the same thing as Africa, but because Africa are the chosen people, and now Judah as well, they got to be coming. So they got to be, people have to come against Africa. So Africa got to become strong and strong, and Africa know that they got to be ready to stand for war, okay? So they have to connect. They got to get everybody in the whole country on the same page to get ready to stand for war, so they can go ahead and fulfill the prophecy, okay? Because that's how it comes. It comes through Africa. And once Africa get done, the West will shake. We already trembling, right, because of their actions, but we will shake, okay? Because it's written. All right. And verse 12, the last verse, Ephraim compassing me about with lies, and the house of Israel with deceit. But Judah yet ruleth with God. But yet Judah ruleth with God. But Judah yet ruleth with God. But Judah yet ruleth with God. But Judah yet ruleth with God, and is faithful with the saints. So you see, Judah will rule. Judah will enforce the laws. Judah is faithful with the saints, because where they try to make Judah be the lords of everybody and hate against us, we the most fairest people, right? We get provoked, we get mad and we get provoked, but we don't go around just starting and making it hard for people. We want to love. We want to be equal. We want to share what we got. But because of who we are made to be hated against, right? We are made to be hated against Judah. But Judah will stand. Judah will rise. Judah is on the rise. Judah is in restoration. There will be no more apostasy in the soon. It will take place and we will reign. Okay? Judah will reign. And as it says again, but Judah yet ruleth with God and is faithful with the saints. So even though all these nations is confederacy against us, no matter what we do and how we do, we can just be sitting there happy and they still gonna hate us, right? But even though they hate us, we still will show them love because we are the most faithful of the saints of God. That's why. Because we enforce the laws. Because Judah yet ruleth. So no matter they got to follow our lead, because we are the saints, we will get things in order by following the Father, okay? Because Judah, again, ruleth. And Judah is faithful with the saints. And Judah will execute the laws and commandments. Judah will be the main person for restoration. Judah will be following the Most High as a messianic nation, with all the Gentiles and other nations following Judah. Okay? So, Judah, be happy, because you guys are natural born leaders. All right, so I hope I brought some clarification to you guys, understanding. Remember, because when we know better, we do better, right? And again, I'm not trying to say 99 sheep. I'm just trying to say that one. But 99 is welcome, right? Because the more, the better, okay? So you guys, that was chapter 11, Hosea, KJV version. And I also, when I read the two-edged sword, that was Hebrews 4:12. So take heed to the word, you guys, because I'm directing you guys to these verses in the Bible. So you don't think I'm just coming from my own mind or whatever, but I'm in fact coming for the word. And the Father just have allowed me to be well scripted with the verses. He just allowed me to be able to break down the mysteries, because I'm telling y'all, there was a time that I was super dumb to the Bible. And even though I started reading as a child, because remember, I grew up, my grandma had us in church, all the time. So I knew about the Bible and but reading that Bible then, and even becoming older, it's full of mysteries, right? And he have to choose you to reveal the mysteries to you, right? So it took me to get in my 30s for the Father to start revealing the mysteries to me. And once I knew when he was revealing it to me, because I started understanding more. And the things that I would have a problem with, I would be like, man, I still don't understand that. But the Father said in 2 days, he gonna wake us up. I really kept true to that word. And I would not forget that, because I always read that verse. We said, I'm going to wake my people up in 2 days, right? And that's when I was in my late 30s, when he woke us up in them 2 days. And then when I knew he woke us up was when I saw IUIC marching. Thousands of men. I knew right then that was the beginning of us waking up, okay? Of those 2 days, right? So now that he's waking up, he increasing our knowledge, running to and fro, right? But only the wise and the prudent he will allow to understand. The wicked is going to fall. They will never understand. So I am grateful and blessed and thankful to the Father that he allowed me to be able to break down the mystery of the Bible and allow me to be well versed and scripted just to help you guys. Because trust and believe me, it's not me, it's him using me to help you guys understand the word, okay? And I really hope that I'm making it clear enough for you guys to understand the word, okay? All right, thank you guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and comment. You got to share this stuff. Time the people to learn. Judah rise, right? Africa over there got to be strong to continue to shake the West. All right, y'all. Do y'all part. Bye now.